Hopefully you can hear me okay. We'll go ahead and get started. Oh, yes, that too. Okay, we will get started in Shavasana, head facing me. Take a few cleansing breaths and just begin to arrive. We're beginning a new theme for the month of December as we head into these colder months, a time of retreat, a time of going within, and a time of just being. Our theme for the month of December is surrender, allowing ourselves, which is a integral part of yin yoga practice, is surrendering to where we are right now. Each day, our bodies change and our energy shifts, and we need to learn to invite surrendering more often. Surrender can sometimes be confused with being lazy or lacking drive. It's more about letting go of what we can't control, letting go of the idea that everything should turn out as expected or be a certain way, not being attached to a particular outcome and flowing through life with a sense of peace instead of trying to force. So, throughout today's practice, let us ground, connect, and surrender. Begin to focus on your breath and the rise and fall of your chest. And if you would like to set an intention for today's practice, if you would like to dedicate your practice to someone or something, you can seed this intention in your heart center now. And when you're ready, roll over and find a wide-legged child's pose. Let's start with a little stretch. Knees width of the mat, big toes together, hips sinking down towards the earth. Walk the hands out and rest your forehead on the mat or on a block. See if you can get a sense of that line of energy all the way from the crown of your head down to your tailbone. And with each exhale, see if you can sink or just set the intention really to sink your tailbone towards the earth a little more. No pushing here, just allowing gravity to pull you towards the earth. On your next inhale, slowly walk the hands back, bringing the head up last. And come into a seated position. You may want your blocks here or a bolster as we prepare for half dragonfly. I'm going to grab a block and my bolster nearby. Pulling the left foot in towards the body, right leg extends out. And just pause here for a moment, feeling into this pose. Spine nice and long. And after a couple of deep breaths here, you can raise your arms up on an inhale and twist at the navel to come facing over your right leg. Keeping your spine straight, gently tilt forward. And when you meet resistance, let your head hang heavy here, or you can use your bolster blocks, whatever you want to use to support you here in this pose. So I'm going to use a block and just let my head rest here. Gentle fold over the right side. No pushing or pulling, just allowing. And release your props. Gently walk the hands back, bringing the head up last, and just pausing in center for a moment. Take a couple of breaths here before moving to the left side. Left leg extends out as wide as is comfortable for you, pulling the right foot in towards the groin, wherever it lands that's comfortable for you. Spine nice and long. Couple of breaths. And on the next inhale, arms come up, turning towards the left leg, exhaling, lowering down, and finding where your edge is here. Use a block if you'd like, whatever supports you need. Go ahead and remove any props and gently walk the hands back, head coming up last. Pausing in center. Bring both legs out front for caterpillar. Toes flex towards your face. Spine nice and long. Arms come up overhead. And on the exhale, gently tilt forward, finding where you meet resistance and pausing here, resting your hands on your shins or on your thighs, wherever they land, keeping that nice long spine here just for a couple of breaths before you let your head hang heavy. You can choose to walk the hands out a little further, stay where you are, use props if you need to. You can place a block down to rest your forehead as we did in Dragonfly. Notice if you are feeling the urge to go deeper, see if you can back off just a little bit and allow yourself to just be where you are. I'll be incorporating a few affirmations throughout today's class. Our first one will be I am supported, loved, and cared for. I am supported, loved, and cared for. You can repeat this affirmation to yourself if you feel that it resonates with you. I am supported, loved, and cared for. Last breath here. Gently release any props. Walk the hands back. Bringing the head up last. And when you are ready, meet me in tabletop. Knees stacked underneath the hips, wrists stacked under the shoulders, fingertips nice and wide, tops of the feet to the mat. We'll begin with cat-cows. On an inhale, gaze comes up, belly drops, tailbone rises. Exhale, round the spine, gaze towards the navel, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, belly drops, gaze comes up. You can run through these at your own pace with your breath. Feel into your body. If we're tight and stiff, start slow with gentle movements. Feel into the shoulders. Breathe through the tightness. Same with the hips. When you're ready, you can begin to circle the hips or make any movements that feel good to your body here. My knees are a little sore today, so I'm going to put my blanket down. 3 more breaths here. Coming back through tabletop, walk the hands towards the front of the mat, lowering down to the forearms and letting the legs come out behind you for Sphinx pose. Elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Gaze comes between the hands, forearms pressing away from the earth. See if you can draw the shoulder blades together, opening the heart center towards the front of your mat. Our affirmation for this pose is, I am full of acceptance and love. I am full of acceptance and love. Another option here is to come into seal by bringing your hands to the corners of your mat and pressing up. This is a slightly deeper back bend here, so if this doesn't feel good to you, feel free to go right back into Sphinx. If you are in seal, lower down to Sphinx, and then all the way to the floor, placing the forehead on the mat and drawing the hands underneath the shoulders. Pause here for a moment before pressing back up into tabletop. From tabletop, we will walk the hands out. You can take a couple of options here for melting heart. You can bring your forearms to the mat, hands in prayer pose, and let your chest open to the floor, to the earth. You can also place your forearms on blocks if you'd like to bring the earth a little closer to you. It's also a little more comfy on the elbows here and provides a little more space for that heart opening. We won't be here too long. Notice where your mind goes during a challenging pose. Do you let the ego take the reins and compare yourself against others? Do you judge yourself on the mat if you find the pose challenging? See if you can shift your focus from judgment to allowing, to the beauty and allowing your practice to unfold as it is. the beauty of surrender. If you need to come out of this pose early, feel free to take child's pose. Listen to the messages your body is sending you. Last breath here. Gently release, coming back through tabletop. From tabletop, bring the right foot forward to meet the hands. Inhale, arms come up, finding dragon on the right side. Interlace the fingers and bring them down behind the right knee. Check in with your hips, see if they're square to the front of your mat. Take a couple of breaths here. And feel free to stay here, or if you'd like to come down further onto blocks, or bringing your hands to the inside of your right foot and walking that right foot out towards the edge of the mat, deepening this posture, you can. Our affirmation for this pose is I relax, allow, and release. I relax, allow, and release. If you've gone deeper into this pose and decide that you want to back out, that is perfectly okay. Find your edge, find where you need to be today. Surrender to wherever you are without forcing or pushing into something deeper. Last breath here. On your next exhale, press back into a brief half split, just releasing, pointing the right toes towards the front of the mat before moving to the other side. So coming back through tabletop, And bringing the left foot forward to meet the hands in whatever way is skillful for you. Inhale, bringing the arms up, a little bit of a reach here. Interlace the fingers behind the left knee and gently begin your lunge forward. And if you would like to move deeper into the pose, feel free to do so now in whatever variation works best for you today. Dragon can be one of those more intense poses. Our hips are generally pretty tight just from the types of activities we do. A lot of sitting, most of us, driving or sitting at a desk or sitting on the couch watching TV, who knows? We do a lot of sitting. Uh, so it can be a little intense here. Sometimes when I'm really struggling with finding stillness or with a intense sensation in a pose, I like to incorporate a mantra. Sometimes we use intentions. One of my favorite mantras to incorporate is Om Mani Padme. This is a central mantra to Tibetan Buddhism, and it brings forth love and compassion for the self and for others. It can be helpful to bring some peace and love and gentleness towards yourself if you wanted to repeat it. Exhale, press back into that half split, releasing here. And in whatever way is intuitive to you, find your way to laying flat on your mat on your back as we prepare for supported bridge. Actually, let's do pigeon first. So, or figure four. Yeah, reclined pigeon. Sorry. So, laying flat on your back, bring your left ankle to your right knee. And just take a couple of breaths here, feeling into your hip. I've done a lot of hip stuff. And if you'd like to reach through and interlace the fingers behind the right knee, pulling the legs in towards your body, you can. Feet stay flexed. Our affirmation for here is I am in the flow. I am in the flow. Release the hands, keeping the ankle on top of the knee. Lower the right foot down towards the mat. Let your left foot fall towards the floor into a twist here. Arms come out to a T. Gaze comes over the left fingertips. I am in the flow. Gently draw the knees back up through center, unwind, maybe pull the knees into the chest and rock side to side, just giving our sacrum a little love. And drop the feet down to the mat, hip distance apart, right ankle to the left knee, pausing here for a few breaths. And when you're ready, reach through, interlacing the fingers behind the left knee, the left thigh, drawing your left leg in towards your body. Release the hands, keeping the legs crossed. Drop the left foot down to the mat and let the knees fall to the left. Arms out to a T, gaze over the right fingertips. On the inhale, gently draw the knees back up through center, unwinding. Bring the feet width of the mat and windshield wiper the legs back and forth just a couple of times here. Really release that hip joint. Coming back through center, feet hip distance apart. Locate your block as we move into supported bridge. Pressing through the feet, lifting the hips up, placing the block on the widest part underneath your sacrum and lowering the hips down. Hands can rest at your sides, on your rib cage, wherever you feel comfortable. Gently tuck the chin in towards the chest here and create a little bit of length in your cervical spine. Be gentle here. Come back to your intention from the beginning of practice. If you've lost it, see if you can draw some awareness back into it. Just touching base without judgment. If you'd like to move deeper into this pose, pressing through the feet and lifting the hips, moving the block to the next highest setting, the longer side. Just being aware here that it is a little less stable, so use some caution there. And you can also stay where you're at if you're comfy there. On the next inhale, press through the feet, lifting the hips, remove the block, lowering the hips down, bring the soles of the feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly. You can place blocks underneath your thighs or your knees if you'd like to, or wrap a blanket around you, wherever you want to be here. Find a nice supported pose. Our affirmation for here is I accept myself as I am. I accept myself as I am. Feel free to stay here or move into your final Shavasana if you would like, letting your legs come out long, feet fall open, nice and wide. Take up some space on your mat. Begin to let your breathing come back to a normal rhythm, whatever that looks like for you. Begin to let go of today's practice, letting go of criticisms, judgments, the stories we tell ourselves during our practice. Take this moment to reflect without attaching labels to judge your thoughts, and just be with them, noticing them with a gentle curiosity. Deepen your breathing and allow some awareness in your physical body, making gentle movements with your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Carefully, in whatever way is intuitive to you, make your way to a seated position facing me. Take just a couple of moments, eyes closed, to just notice how you feel here after today's practice. And on an inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. Palms together. Exhale, hands at heart center. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's practice of cultivating some gentleness with ourselves and surrendering to where we are today. I hope that you can carry the benefits of tonight's practice with you throughout your evening and into your next day, finding moments to be more gentle and to allow things to unfold as they will. Another big inhale in, sigh it all out. Satnam, may you vibrate as your truest self. Have a great night.